Well, folks, what can we say? It's Thursday. And are you guys ready? Because this is definitely a you can't make this up Thursday. So much so that somebody has sent me a chicken. It's a chicken. It's not a real chicken, but it's a chicken. I think it was meant for Billy Crone. Something like this. Send Billy Crones all the chickens you can, since he sends me these jackets to wear. Hey, it's a rooster. I don't know. How do you know the difference between a rooster and a hen? How do you know? All I know is when I was young, I used to watch Foghorn Leghorn, and that rooster was trouble. Okay, you guys ready? So let's get started with some very serious things. And by the way, this is live. We are taking your questions, and we're reading some of your comments. Fire away. We'd love to be able to communicate with you all live. So let's roll. What does the Pope have to say? Well, let's see what Babylon B says the Pope has to say. Let's see. What's the Pope have to say? Here it is. Wait, I can't. No, that's not it. Oh, they missed it. Oh no, I think I forgot to send them the picture of the Pope. So anyways, I'm going to read to you what the Pope has to say. You guys ready? Here it is. Here's the Pope. Pope is now recommending Christians pray the rosary while facing Mecca. I'll see if they can find that picture in a little while, but let's you and I roll on, because check this out. Are you ready for this one? So somebody left Kurt Reed's is Kurt live right now? What is Kurt doing? I'm not going to let him on my program. Kurt, what are you doing live? We know you. Oh, Kurt. We're supposed to have a conference at your church. We're going to cancel that, Kurt. No, just kidding. Kurt, what are you doing? Okay, ready? Zero Hedge. Seattle's woke World Cup agenda implodes as pride match set between countries with anti-gay laws. No kidding. Look at that. World Cup Seattle pride match. Egypt versus Iran. Maybe who planned this one? The 2026 World Cup has been the talk of the sports and political world lately. The United States, Mexico, and Canada will host it, and last week, the presidents of all three countries attended and participated in the draw to determine which teams would play in which groups. I'm thinking, no, in the United States, Seattle's one of the host cities, and one of the matches in that city will take place on June 26th. Before the draw, local organizers determined that the theme for that particular night would be LGBT, etc. Pride Night, to coincide with June being Pride Month. Why? Because Seattle's going to Seattle and insert the propaganda. Seattle's going to Seattle. I gotta like that one. And insert its propaganda in sports, no matter how much it alienates people. So now that everything's finalized and settled, we know who will be paying in that particular match. Egypt and Iran. Then it says, no, I'm serious, folks. You can't make this stuff up. Truly amazing. As we see, I mean, seriously, that is humor. So I think of Romans chapter 1, where God says, I will turn them over to a reprobate or a debased mind, depending on which version of the Bible you are reading. That word reprobate or debased, it literally means that when a person is turned over to that, think of leaders. They are turned over to a reprobate mind by God. They will make decisions that are just so absolutely stupid. It's as if they are shooting themselves in their own foot. In other words, they hate everybody else so much, or whoever their target is, that they will make a decision that will only come back and harm themselves. For example, the LGBTQ community says, hey, we support Hamas. Well, Hamas will throw you off a building. Hamas will kill you because of that. So now we have in Seattle, where Seattle is, according to the article, does what Seattle does, right? Let's bring a pride match. Hey, how about Egypt and Iran, who will kill anybody that's LGBTQ? Yeah, that sounds like that makes a whole lot of sense. It's like New York City. In New York City, you have LGBTQ community going out in droves to vote for Mamdani, who, guess what? Once he's in power, it ain't going to go the way you want it to go, the way you've been promised it was going to go. It's going to go the way that Islam says it's going to go. And that's what's going to happen. Anyways, you can't make this up. Seattle's Woke World Cup. All right, Christmas is coming. What does Kamala Harris have to say? Or what did Kamala Harris have to say about Christmas? Let's see.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we?
We're saying Merry Christmas again.
How dare you say Merry Christmas? How dare you say Merry Christmas? You gotta love that one. Hey, listen to this. David Spade, comedian, calls out anti-Christian feel after mall erases Christmas from their tree lighting. David Spade, of all people, you start having comedians that are willing to stand up, but churches that won't stand, churches that will actually say, no, we don't want to mention Christmas. We don't want to hurt people's feelings. We don't want to do any of that kind of stuff. Okay, we have the image of the Pope. Let's pull that Pope image back up here. You ready? Here it is. There you go. Pope now recommending Christians pray the rosary while facing Mecca. Is this really true? Is this really true? Listen, it was in the Babylon Bee. I'm having a hard time believing he actually said that. So I'm thinking it's not true. We're going to do a little bit of fact checking on this, but I do find it rather interesting. I mean, even if he didn't say it, you know he's thinking it, right? Because Babylon Bee is so good about that. Pat Cox 875 says, what do you think about Trump's peace council with the 10 kings? It's just another one. Do I think these 10 kings are the 10 kings of Revelation chapter 17? I think it's highly unlikely. I think that number is interesting. But if we go back, if we look and we go, okay, also when you look at who the 10 kings are, maybe. But as you look at back in history, we also have the Club of Rome. Well, that's a rather interesting name, the Club of Rome, who had their own map of the world being broken down into 10 regions. So I guess you could say it could be that these Trump's 10 kings, I think this is the second time, though, Trump has come up with 10 kings. And I think this is not the same group as the first set of 10 kings he has. But anyways, that's a Trumpism. But when you look back and you think, okay, could it be that these current 10 kings of Trump's become the 10 regional leaders of that Club of Rome map broken down throughout the world? I don't know. There's a lot of talk it will be the technocrats who are actually going to be the 10 kings of Revelation chapter 17. So you have, the Bible's very clear, there will be 10 leaders. Daniel chapter 2, you have the 10 toes. Daniel chapter 7, you have the 10 horns. Out of the 10 horns rises the small one, the little one, who will be the 11th one. Another horn came up, who becomes the Antichrist or the beast. Revelation chapter 17, you also have 10 horns and you have 10 kings. And so when you look at the dynamic, I don't know. By the way, if these are the 10 kings, then that would be evidence Trump isn't the Antichrist, because the Antichrist rises out of the 10 kings. He's a little horn. He's not the guy in charge of them until he is empowered by the kings and placed into that position, which doesn't happen for quite a while. You see the 10 kings rise, first of all, the 10 horns, Daniel chapter 7. It's not until they're in position, and then the 11th one, the small one, the one that nobody really knows about or doesn't really pay any attention to, rises up out of them. And then he's going to get rid of 3 of them. We know that from Daniel chapter 7. Revelation chapter 17, same scenario. The 10 kings, once they're in power, they give their power and authority to the beast. So if these 10 kings are it, I personally don't think so, but maybe. Maybe they are. By the way, don't forget, we have the Are You Ready shirts. Are you ready for what's coming? And you're standing in a store, you're doing whatever you do. You're standing at a coffee shop, you're getting yourself a coffee. You said, I'm going to buy a rooster or a chicken or whatever this thing is. I'm going to get one of these things. Or you go out, I don't know, whatever it is that you're doing, right? You're hanging out, you're wearing one of these shirts. Somebody unknown to you pulls out their phone because on the back of the shirt is the QR code. And what happens when somebody pulls out their phone and they got the QR code? What happens to their phone? Their own phone turns into a witness, a witness of the Lord Jesus Christ to the person. They're looking at their phone. All of a sudden, on their own phone, what do they see? They see this. This is pretty cool. Check this out. They have these different scriptures that are on there. And by the way, we can even add to some of these too. But as you can see, you got Mark on there. Watch therefore, for you do not know when the Son of Man is coming. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, when you yourselves know perfectly well that the day of the Lord comes as a thief in the night. When they say peace and safety, sudden destruction comes upon them. You have all of these different warnings. Luke chapter 12. Therefore, you better be ready because you don't know when the Son of Man is coming. But then you also, with the warnings of the second coming of Christ, guess what? You also have the other scriptures on there. Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call upon the name of the Lord that you might be saved. Acts chapter 4, verse 12, there's no other name under heaven by which you may be saved. What kind of Christians are you? Hit the like button. Like button ministries. I like that. I've never heard of such a thing. I agree. Hit the like button. Like and share. It helps us to be able to get the word out there. Listen, Thursdays, just so you know, if you are new to this, this is what we do. Do things a little bit crazy. Do things a little bit different. Why? Because that is the way, that's just the way it is. We bring in a little bit of humor with a little bit of reality too. Let's get some more reality. You ready? Check this out. We hear about the ethnic cleansing and the colonizing and the occupation of Israel, of the Jews, into the Palestinian territories, which is another story in and of itself. I've talked many, that's why I have this book out. To help people understand who the land really belongs to. But anyways, that's another story. You ready? Check this out, because if you've been to Israel, you know, once you go, you know, you go, wait a minute, we're getting lied to all over the news media. Check out this short video.
I wanted to show you a little bit how the people are living under occupation. This is ethnic cleansing, this is occupation. This is one of the things that the Palestinian people have to go through. You know, you live like this, only 40, 50 bedrooms. How could you invite friends? How could you invite family? You only have 12 bathrooms, everything in marble. We are selling this for a very good price because of the current situation of ethnic cleansing. You could live here in poverty like this. It's very, very tough situation. People here are very brave. This is one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world, my friends. One of the worst humanitarian crises. Nobody has it harder than the Palestinian people. Remember, Palestinian Batizi forever and ever. Victory to Muhammad, victory to Islam. WhatsApp, if you're interested in buying, purchasing real estate in occupied tension, in ethnic cleansing, in genocide.
You did get that that was parody, right? I mean, I look at that and go, so this is something, you notice, you go, wait a minute. You drive through parts of Bethlehem, you drive through parts of these so-called occupied territories where the people are oppressed so greatly, and yet the leaders in those communities, you see these massive mansions that you would only see in places in America, like in the Hamptons or in Beverly Hills or something like that. And then you find out something, well, wait a minute. It's actually the Palestinian Authority in some areas, or like Judea and Samaria, or you have a radical group, terrorist group, no matter what Tucker Carlson says, trying to say they're not a terrorist group. Really? While he's over in Qatar buying land. Anyways, so what do you actually have? You have the people that are oppressed. Who are they oppressed by? They're oppressed by their leaders. It's a strange thing. For some reason, there's places in the land of Israel where Jews can't go. But an Arab can pretty much go anywhere in Israel, including they can work in hospitals as doctors. They can be judges, and they are doctors, they are judges, they are politicians, even in the Knesset, they're all over. Anyways, the lies are just outstanding. Yes, Joan, you are right. My heart goes out to them having only 12 bathrooms. Oh, so sad. And yet the West falls for this stuff because of the nonsense of the Nick Fuentes, Dave Smiths, Tucker Carlsons, and on down the list. But there's more here. Check this out. Let's get some more, another real fact check. Look at this. Hamas hid tons of baby formula to damage Israel with starvation claims. Palestinian starvation claims. Palestinian report. A Palestinian report reporting this. Hamas is said to have stored those products, baby formula, in a warehouse dependent on the Ministry of Health in Gaza in order to reinforce this narrative of a famine orchestrated by Israel. Ahmed Fahoud Akrab-Ib, a Palestinian activist from Gaza in the United States, accused Hamas of deliberately worsening the food crisis in Gaza by hiding significant quantities of infant formula and nutritional supplements intended for children. According to him, the organization did this with the intention for the narrative of of a famine that they said was orchestrated by Israel. No. And we showed reports, you have seen the reports, all of the food trucks that would go into Gaza, they'd be hijacked by Hamas. They weren't getting to the people. When people tried to get to the food, you saw them shot, and then all over the news, the liars would report, look, the IDF is shooting teenagers. You have these lies all over the place. And now here it is, it's starting to come out. Even Palestinians are starting to report Hamas lied about the baby formula. So babies starved, babies intentionally starved for the purpose of a narrative to blame Israel. Look what Israel was doing when Hamas was doing. We told you that. We told you that. You guys, if you watch the program, you know it, but how many people who go to churches in America don't believe any of those? They believe all of the lies. They won't receive the truth. They won't even receive it. By the way, listen, I appreciate you guys so much, because without your support, we could not do what we do. Somebody has to push back against the lies. We have to bring the Bible truth into these stories, into the news. There's so little Bible that's out there. Even in prophecy circles, it becomes a lot about sensationalism and false predictions and things like that. Folks, we have to bring the Bible, whether we are combating the lies of anti-Semitism, the lies that are against the nation of Israel. Listen, I don't support all things that Israel does just because they are Israel. In fact, I call them out. Even in this book, I call them out. God called them out. Old Testament, New Testament, God calls them out. But it's understanding God had a plan, and it still has a plan for the nation of Israel. But we must bring the truth. We bring the Bible every Sunday morning. We have a Sunday morning message. We're currently in the Gospel of Matthew. Every Sunday night, prophecy update with the Bible, currently the book of Judges, all through the week, even in our daily news updates, like the one I'm going to have here in a few hours. Even in our daily news updates, we bring the Bible into it so we can understand it, because we do not want to be deceived. We don't want to be, in fact, the book of Joshua, don't turn to the left or turn to the right. But instead, what do? You meditate upon His Word. His Word is the only thing that's going to keep us from being deceived and knocked off course in these days that we live in. And I want to thank you, because quite frankly, we could not do it without you. We're not supported by any organization. We're not supported by any church. It's just people who say, yeah, I want the truth. I want the Bible. And you guys always bring the Bible into whatever it is we are talking about. And I'm willing to do a crazy show like this in order to bring the truth out there and reach other people that might not otherwise watch much of anything. But with that, I want to thank you. And we do have a thank you for you. And right now, Christmas is coming. I want to show you this, because this, my friends, is coming to you, to everybody who has come along and partner with us. Watch this commercial.
This Christmas, Hope for Our Times wants to say thank you. Because of your prayers and financial support, the message of hope in Jesus Christ continues to reach people all over the world. You've helped shine light in dark times, and we couldn't do it without you. The world around us is changing fast. Every day brings new headlines filled with chaos, confusion, and uncertainty. But what if these things aren't signs of everything falling apart? What if they're signs that everything is falling into place? That's the question behind the brand new book, Final Countdown, Planet Earth. In it, you'll discover how today's radical changes are actually fulfilling Bible prophecy and pointing to the soon return of Jesus. And that's not all. This Christmas, we're also including a fantastic resource, The Rapture. What happened and why? This beautifully crafted pamphlet clearly explains what the rapture is, who it's for, and why it's our blessed hope. It's the perfect tool to share with friends and loved ones, or to leave behind for those who will one day ask, what happened? Together, these two resources are our special Christmas gift to everyone who is a financial partner of Hope for Our Times. It's our way of saying thank you for standing with us as we proclaim the truth of God's Word in a world that's desperate for answers. If you're already a partner, thank you. And if you've been thinking about partnering with us, now is the perfect time. Your support helps us live out our mission to use the prophetic Word of God as a powerful tool for evangelism, guiding people from all over the world to the hope found exclusively in a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. From all of us at Hope for Our Times, Merry Christmas.
Hey, so cool. We have, this is totally off the charts. This is the book, and in it we have the mystery gate revealed. It talks about the Golden Gate or the East Gate. What is a Jew? Answering that question. Jewish roots of the Christian faith. Why do most Jews reject Jesus as the Messiah? Does the Bible teach two separate Messiahs? On down the list it goes. I talk about the evil trio, or we talk about it in here. It was a friend of mine actually put this together. They didn't want their name on it. They just didn't want the recognition. But we endorsed it for them. The millennial kingdom. Talk about that. Satan's final attack, great white throne judgment. What is that? 1 second after you die. We have the gospel in this. Talk about the resurrection. Did the resurrection really happen? All these different topics are in here. What does it mean to be God's chosen people? So again, that's our thank you to you guys. Thank you so much. It is a really cool book. All right, let's move on from here. Are you guys ready? Okay. I'm not so sure you're going to be ready for this next one. It's about gay sheep. No, you can't make this up. I am not kidding you. Look at this. Watch this. Check this out. Wool of gay sheep passes woke test for New York fashion debut. Designer Michael Schmitz. Wool survive. Let me reread this. Hold on a second. I got to pull this up correctly. Designer Michael Schmitz, I will survive the line. Instead of I will survive line, uses fleece from rams that prefer same-sex partners. All right. You got to be kidding me. This is the world that we live in? Check this out. I said to myself, this can't be true. Let me do some fact checking. No, it's true. The headline, Wool of Gay Sheep passes woke test for New York fashion debut, isn't exactly fake news. It's a snarky, sensationalized way to describe a real project called Rainbow Wool. No, I'm not. No, this is it. Where a German farmer and an LA designer use wool from rescued non-breeding, are you ready for this? Gay sheep for sustainable fashion. But it's become a focus for debate about queer identity in animal agriculture, not just a simple fashion show. It's real. I can't believe it. Wool, there you go. Okay, you ready? Let's get a video for you guys. You ready? How about this one? Redneck Water Park. Here we go. Watch this. So, I mean, listen, AI video, all right, but it's just so funny because, I don't know, maybe you could imagine something like that actually taking place, but that was an AI video. AI videos are everywhere. All right, Patrick Hart asks, in what manner did Daniel seal up his book? Does seal mean simply stop writing or some kind of encoding? It was simply stop writing, close the book. We're not going to go and revisit this. Here's what needs to be known. And he obviously writes out the words that become the rest of the book of Daniel at that point. And indeed, the sealing up, in fact, when you read it in the context of it, the angel is telling Daniel, it's for the time of the end, where people will travel to and fro, and knowledge will increase. So it's all within that context. And by the way, people traveling to and fro, knowledge increasing. In the context of that, the Bible, knowledge increasing and people traveling to and fro in the context is talking about knowledge of the Bible, and specifically, it is talking about knowledge of the last days, eschatology, because that is what the context is. Daniel wants to know. Tell me a little bit more. Help me to understand these things. Daniel, is not for you to know. Close the book, seal up the words until the time of the end. At the time of the end, these things will be understood and they'll be revealed. In fact, the word revelation in the book of Revelation literally means to be unveiled. It comes from the Greek word apocalypsis or apocalypsis, where we get our English word apocalypse. We think, oh, it means all horrible. It means volcanoes are going to be blown up all over and stuff like that. It actually means an unveiling, a revealing. And the book of Revelation reveals what is coming. So when Daniel's told, seal up the words, close the book until the time of the end, the angel is letting Daniel know the people who live at the time of the end, they are the ones who are going to get it. They're going to start to understand. So, in fact, the exact same verbiage is used in the book of Amos, too, where people are running to, I think it's book of Amos, where people are running to and fro, talking about searching for the word. So they're running to and fro, knowledge will increase. Running to and fro, searching the word. That's the context of it. Knowledge will increase. Will people travel more and more, and will knowledge increase at the last days? Absolutely. We see that happening. You can look at technology, you look at what is necessary for the mark of the beast. These things must happen. The travel to and fro, the global connection, and knowledge increasing must happen for the mark of the beast. But in the context of Daniel, it's talking about the study of the word. And even when we look right now, all over the internet, there's all kinds of people that have their prophetic revelations and dreams and visions, and some even try to say, well, this is what the Bible really means. That stuff's all over the place. But you have to stick with what the Bible does say. But nevertheless, more and more people are trying to figure stuff out. Apart from the Bible, they're not going to get the right understanding, but at least they are starting to search the scriptures. And if you give them the truth of God's word, it will unveil, it will reveal, and people will get it. That's why it's so necessary and important for you and I right now to continue to tell people the truth of what God's word says. Because even if they reject you now and reject the gospel right now, even if they do those things right now, listen, during the tribulation period, there's going to be the largest harvest of souls that has ever taken place. And I believe it's because it's people like us who are faithful to give the truth now during that time when people are running to and fro, knowledge increasing about the word and the books being unsealed and revealed to them. The people during the tribulation period that turn to the Lord, they're going to have a better understanding of Bible prophecy than we even do now, as the Lord will reveal it to them. It's like the 144,000 Jews that are saved. Right now, their blinders are on. Blindness in part has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles has come. But we do know, like it was with the Apostle Paul before he became Paul, he was Saul, the persecutor against Christians. guess what? The Lord gets a hold of him. He takes the blinders off, and then all of a sudden Paul could see all the things that he had studied under Gamaliel, all of the Old Testament books and the prophets and the things that he was reading and studying. Suddenly his eyes were open, his spiritual eyes were open, and he realized those were all about Jesus the Messiah. Same thing is going to happen with those 144,000. Their eyes are going to be open. They're going to get it, and they're going to get the prophetic things too. So how much we need to continue to tell people these things, because ultimately they all point to the hope of Jesus Christ, because he came the first time that we might be saved. By the way, we have our annual New Year's Eve prophecy update. It's going to be in Phoenix, Arizona this year with Pastor Dave Bowen and Patrick Wood and myself. It's going to be a fantastic time. Join us. You do not have to register. I'm assuming there's going to be enough room for everybody that shows up, but it is our 29th annual New Year's Eve Hope for Our Times prophecy update. Join us. You can click on the link to see how to join us. Again, it's free. You don't have to register. Would love to see you there. That is New Year's Eve coming up, just a few weeks away. And what do? We connect what's happened in the last year, 2025, and we project what is coming in 2026 based upon what? What the Bible has to say. Going to be a great time. Okay, couple more things for you. Listen, we always have a section for why men live longer. We're not quite there. We got a few more minutes. I got a couple of other things to show you first. First of all, here's this video, and I'm going to encourage you, all of you men out there, if you are not yet married, no, if you're going to get married, you're excited about it, this too will happen to you once you get married. Check it out. Woo!
When you get married, you're a guy, you get a little helper in the car. I love my little helper in the car. She knows everything about driving. It's very convenient for me. But sometimes I get confused. See, I don't know how I get anywhere without my helper in the car. I'd probably be bouncing off trees. But she's there to help. Like, she tells me when the light changes colors and everything. It's very convenient and helpful. Like, it's green. Thank you, Albert. Because I was confused. I didn't know. Thanks, Captain Prism. She's very helpful in the car for me. I hope.
When you get married, all right, all you ladies out there, before you get mad at me, don't worry. We'll get to the why women live longer than men section in just a few minutes. Don't worry about it. We're almost there. But just a little bit of humor, and for all you men, it will happen. At least it has happened to me. I'm just saying. And other men I talk to, I wouldn't know when the light turns green if it wasn't for my little helper. Just saying. Anyways, before I get in any more trouble, I better stop talking. Okay. This one, Martha in the Woods, 1279, says, what is the most accurate news source these days? P.S. Thanks for an excellent trip to Israel. Listen, JNS News is, I think, the best one that you're going to get out of Israel. Jerusalem Post is usually pretty good. And then we have our news update every 5 o'clock Pacific time here on the West Coast, 8 o'clock on the East Coast, and wherever you are watching the world. And what I do is I bring news, and I always run it through the grid of the Bible, because people need news every day. And every day on our website, we also post news. We select what's accurate, what's good, and we put those articles out there. So it's right there on the Hope for Our Times website, on the app, and also on the website. Click on it. We update the news every single day. I believe we have 6 stories every day, so you can read it, and we do go through things when we assess what's fake, what's real, what are things that we need to know and need to be aware of. By the way, don't forget Sunday morning, we're going through the Bible, and Sunday night, this Sunday night in my prophecy update, guess what? Masks are coming back, and a couple of other things I got to talk to you about also. That's coming this Sunday night. But so we have right here Hope for Our Times and other websites. JNS is outstanding. JNS. Jewish News Syndicate. Absolutely outstanding. I was able to interview the chief editor from JNS just recently too, and also an Iranian Jew from JNS. Amazing. Had him on the program just recently too. It's blessed. All right. Are you guys ready? Vindog, thank you for joining us. Vindog. Hey, Vinny, why don't you ask Kurt, say, Kurt, what are you doing? You know we do this every day at 2 o'clock. Ask Kurt, what the heck are you doing, Kurt Reed? All right. Anyways, so thanks, Vinny. All right. Also, men, if you're going to get married, one more, and then we'll wind it up with why women live longer and the tip of the week. Okay, you guys ready? Okay, here's this. Men, not only that, when you get married, you get a little helper in the car with you to tell you how to drive, but what else? You need to know this lesson for when you get married. This is absolutely true. Tell me, ladies, if what you're about ready to see is not true, because it is. Watch this.
There's two inputs, Dawn and Laura, my wife Laura. Okay, if I'm wrong and Laura's right, this is a really easy one. Laura's right. That's simple. Thank you very much. That one seemed obvious to me. Believe it or not, from here, it gets complicated. Okay, if we're both right, it doesn't matter. Laura's right. Thank you very much. That's the key. I would rather be happy than be right. That's what I'm thinking. If I'm right and Laura's wrong, doesn't matter. Laura's still right. And if we're both wrong, Donna's wrong.
Okay, that is, that's true. Okay, ladies, tell me, is that true or is it not? I'm just asking for a friend. I'd rather be happy than right. In fact, we were touring recently. Oh, by the way, Martha, thank you for joining us in Israel. Wasn't that a great trip? We have a trip coming up in April. That one is almost completely full if you want to join us. And then we have another one, a conference. Check this out, coming up next October. If we are not raptured yet, Pastor Brandon Holthouse, Olivier Melnick, and myself, we are hosting a conference in Galilee. We're bringing in worship. I'm not going to say who's going to be doing the worship for. So we're going to tour from 8 in the morning to 2. You guys know. Be back to beautiful. We picked an absolutely 5-star resort. They gave us a great price so people could afford to go. And then, but we also have a conference in it with worship. So we've got the nights in Galilee. We're going to get back early enough so you can be rested and relaxed and go to the conference. We've got the dinner. We've got a Q&A with myself, Brandon, Olivier, and other people. We're going to be interviewing IDF soldiers. We have different conference speakers are coming each night from Israel, Israeli conference speakers. Going to be over the top people you want to meet and worship too. It's going to be outstanding. It's a full tour. Galilee, Jerusalem, it's a full tour with a prophecy, Bible prophecy conference on the Sea of Galilee. There, you can see it all, October 23 through November 2. It's going to be absolutely fantastic for anybody who can make that. You will be blessed. I mean, it includes worship. It includes Israeli speakers. It includes the full-on tour, beautiful place. Reba Blackley says, we live longer because we know how to put the lid down on the toilet. Yeah, my wife started me a few times. But that's another story. Okay, what were we talking about? I forget. I cannot remember. So let's play this video. Why women live longer. Here's just a few reasons why women live longer. Roll this.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
Anyways, we hope you enjoyed that. So we're an equal opportunity offender. Didn't mean to offend all you ladies out there today. There's always, we always have a little bit of fun here. Anyways, are you guys ready? Oh, by the way, when we were in Jordan, I know what I was going to tell you. I can't remember again. What was I going to say? It was regarding one of the things that we saw earlier. Oh, our guide in Jordan, it was fantastic. We went to Petra, Mount Nebo, Fort of the Jabbok. We went to Manaheim from 2 Samuel chapter 17. We did some cool things. We have a lot of exciting things coming. If we're not raptured, I prefer to be raptured. But our guide said, my wife says, I shouldn't tell you this. She says, hey, she looks at me, we're having dinner. She was just wrong about something. And I was trying to make the point. What? I shouldn't say that? She was just wrong. And he sits down and she goes, we need counseling. Actually, she said, he needs, he looked at me in front of her and he said, listen, let me talk. He goes, I don't need to talk to you, Jackie. I just need to talk to him. Look at me. Look at me. He goes, you have two choices here. Would you rather be right or happy? And then he walked off, and he laughed and walked off. And then I realized, I want to be right and happy. But anyway, it was great. Oh, my wife was not wrong. I was wrong. Oh, woo. Sorry, Jackie. Hey, are you ready for this? Tip of the week. Maybe I should listen to some of my own tips of the week. Not this one, though. Not this one. Are you ready for this tip of the week, folks? Check it out. Tip of the week. If at first you don't succeed, then skydiving isn't for you. There you go. If at first you don't succeed, then skydiving isn't for you. Take that one to the bank, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Peace out. See y'all later.